Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and I love helping you love your home through DIY, thrifting, and organizing. Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and I love showing you how to love your home through DIY, thrifting, and organizing. Today I have a really fun DIY for you guys. I did my kitchen makeover, and as much as it's done, there's always stuff to finish and add and do, and I have so many more visions for that space. But one thing that I really wanted to do in that kitchen was paint my KitchenAid mixer. My husband lovingly bought this mixer for me when I graduated from culinary school, and it was something that was always on my bucket list, one of those, you know, want items but not need, and so I was never gonna buy it for myself. And he amazingly, as a teenager, bought this for me, and I love it so, so much. And honestly, it was just the sweetest gesture with my high school sweetheart buying that for me. I was so happy. But he bought it in black, and as much as black isn't my color, I just took it for what it was because I love him and I love it, and it has served me well these past couple of years. But anyways, you guys, now that I've done the kitchen makeover though, it's just a really dark fixture on the counter, and so I want to lighten that up. And so today I'm going to show you how to paint your KitchenAid mixer, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this one because for the most part it's pretty simple and it's pretty sweet that you can just keep your machine but change the color depending on your decor taste. Before we get into that, you guys, though, I have to tell you that today's video I am doing a collab with the lovely Emily Garb here on YouTube. She is wonderful, and I know you guys are gonna love her just as much as I do, so I wanted to share her with you. So after you watch this video, make sure you head on over to her channel because she's gonna do a little home decor thrift flip as well, and I'm excited to see what she comes up with. Because just like me, she also loves DIYing and thrifting to make over her 1970s Spanish style home that her and her husband have been working hard at making a home. And she has 3 little ones. She just had a new baby boy, a newborn, and yet she's still somehow pumping out content. She is amazing. She's a rock star. And so go give her a follow. I'm sure you guys will love her channel. Honestly, she's just a calm, sweet soul, and I love watching her videos, and I know that you guys will too. So go give her a follow, check out her video, and then let her know that I sent you. Again, I promise you will love her. Also, if you are here from her channel, hello and welcome. I hope you guys like it. Like I said, I have very similar content to what Emily does. I love DIYing, I love thrifting, and we are making over our 1905 home in a more Victorian style, but you know, still using what we can to make it home, but on a budget. One, it's necessary, and 2, it's just fun to find things and find them for cheaper. So I hope you guys like it here, and I hope you will stay. And yeah, that's it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this KitchenAid mixer makeover. That sounded kind of cool. KitchenAid mixer makeover. Okay, sorry. Also, if you come back next week and you see me wearing the same outfit, you didn't. Okay, you guys, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do is take off all of these little attachment pieces that we don't want spray painted and that are easier to put on than to tape over. So I had no clue that this piece came off, which was so cool, but also a little gross. So make sure you wash these pieces. And then this bottom piece as well comes right out. And again, make sure you wash the area afterwards. The last piece I'm gonna take off is this back piece, and it just pops off and it kind of hooks on a little bit. So you need to sort of lift it up and then out, and that should come right off. And then we're just gonna cover this area up because we don't wanna mess with any of those wires. So I just took a plastic bag and then masking tape and put that all the way around so that way it stayed put. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in the couple of years that I've had this mixer, I've never given it a full clean after taking all the pieces off. Never, ever. And so today I'm doing that, just making sure that everything is super clean so that way the paint adheres correctly. And then you're just gonna take the painter's tape and go over the areas that you don't want painted. So I don't want this little silver area painted, so I'm gonna do that, and then tucking it under a little bit because we are gonna have to paint underneath as well. You guys can see here that it kind of shimmied it up in there and then just folded it over, and that worked well for me. So some of these pieces are truly optional if you want them painted or not. So I went ahead and painted this piece. I don't even know what that is, honestly. I don't know if that like holds it together or not, but anyways, I didn't want it painted. And then I just stuffed inside where the attachment pieces go because I just didn't want it clogged with paint. So I stuffed a bag inside and then put a little piece of tape to keep it in place. And then I decided that I wanted to paint my handles, so I just taped around where the silver part is showing again. Now, if you want to leave your handles black, you can totally do that. And then I just took off this warning sticker, which, oh my gosh, they really want to warn you because they did not want to let this go, but One thing you should know about me, if you don't already, is that I don't give up, and so I beat that sticker. And then I just took some lemon essential oil and a cloth and wiped off all that gunky bits. If you guys don't know this hack, it's phenomenal, and it works on all those little sticky residues that kind of stay on from stickers like this. And then for some reason, I thought it was a great idea to do paper towel around this hooky attachment thingy. I know technical terms really well. I just found that it would probably be easier to take the tape off after, and then that little part where it lifts, I just stuffed a bag in there as well. Now I want this paint to last, and so I feel the best way to do that is to give this a nice sanding. So I'm just taking a 400 grit sandpaper. It doesn't have to be anything too severe. We're honestly just getting that glossy finish off, and this will help our primer stick really, really well. It's pretty easy to see where you don't go over. Your paint is going to end up having kind of like this matte finish to it. And once you wipe it clean, you'll also be able to see any areas that you missed and you can go back in. The hardest part was doing that little lift area. But other than that, honestly, it came off pretty easily. You don't have to go too crazy. Like I said, you're just trying to get that shiny finish off and then clean it really, really well. Now it's time to prime. I'm just using this Rust-Oleum primer. I find Rust-Oleum to be a really good product for outside spray painting. I've used it before and it's worked well for me, so I just chose this primer, and I honestly only did one coat, which I know might be surprising considering that it's black, but I just went over a couple times lightly instead of one thick coat, and I found that that worked really well. I did paint part of my extension cord. You guys can wrap that up in the bag if you don't want it to be painted, but I have mine on the counter and part of it shows, and so now when it's on the counter, you kind of can't see it because it just blends in. So after that dried for the allotted time, I went in with this paint. This is called Sand Dollar, and this is in Ultra Matte. Quite honestly, I don't really want a matte one, but it's all that Walmart had in the right color, and I didn't want to go to another store, so I ended up using it, and I really love the way that it turned out. And my spray painting tips for you are just making sure that you're kind of starting the paint before you put it on the mixer, so basically starting it to the left and sweeping it across and giving yourself some nice even coats. It's always easier to go slower and then add more coats as opposed to putting it on super thick and having globs. Now I went in with a 2000 grit sandpaper, and you can see that I'm just kind of feeling around what feels rough and wiping that off. Basically, I'm not going super hard on this and just using my hand and feeling where it feels rough, and then when it feels smooth, I found that to be the most helpful. And then just making sure you clean that off super, super well. I then went in with my second coat, making sure it's all good and dandy, and that's all I did. I didn't sand it afterwards. Make sure you were letting this dry the allotted time, guys. That's going to give you the best finish. I used Varathane's polyurethane interior spray to seal this, and I ended up doing 3 coats because, again, this is something that's going to be used all the time, and I want to make sure that this is going to last me a long, long time. And now for the exciting part. After those 3 coats of polyurethane, I'm taking the tape off, and you can use a utility knife anywhere that you need to so that the paint doesn't scratch off, but basically just taking these pieces off very carefully and revealing the final piece. I'm so excited, you guys. Just make sure you put everything back. These have been nicely cleaned and washed and ready to go, and here's a look at that before. I loved it, Brad, but I was ready for something lighter, and I'm so happy with how this turned out, and I'm so glad that I did this, you guys. I cannot even tell you. It finally fits in with the full aesthetic of this kitchen, and it just makes my heart sing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this makeover, and like I said, make sure you go and check out Emily's video now. I'm gonna head right on over. I can't wait to see what she got up to. I hope you liked this video. I hope you liked me, and I hope you guys will stay. And until next time, I'll see you next Sunday at 2 p.m. Bye, guys.